What's up, everybody? It's Frank over here from Playeressence.com, and I'm going to be discussing Fire Emblem Awakening for the 3DS today. I don't have a formal review for this game, but I am going to be talking just about a discussion, just because I want to talk about how awesome this game is. I've said on past podcasts and things like that, Bigcast, how cool I think this game is, but really I haven't talked about it more in depth than I wanted to. I just want to note right now, I wasn't a Fire Emblem fan, so I didn't play the previous games. I wasn't a huge fan of all of them. The only game that I played previously, I think, was Sacred Stones on the GBA, and that's because Nintendo gave it to us with the Ambassador program. So that's the only one I played, and I really didn't like it too much. It was okay, but I wasn't really a big fan. But what's really changed about Fire Emblem Awakening was the support system, and I think that's one of the things. It's so slick and well done. You can link up in battle. When you give support to one of your allies, it basically boosts their stats. The more you battle with them, the better your stat boost. It really creates a feel like, okay, you need to pair up, especially on the harder difficulties, because enemies are ruthless. They're going to go after your weaker members. So if you have like a healer or other people that aren't quite as strong, you need to make sure you pair them up so they can give you stat boosts and things like that. The great thing about it, they have this like affinity system. So the more you battle, if the two are on opposite sex, basically they can go through like a letter system. So C, B, A, then S. And if they get to S, they can get married. And then when they get married, they can have a kid, and you can recruit that kid to fight with you. And it's so cool because you can actually strategically play it, because the kid inherits skills. The first two in your equipment slot, they inherit the first two skills. So you can actually pair things up to make sure you get, like, you know, a kid with the best skills, and he can do this and that. So it really is a cool system, and something that I really haven't done in other strategy RPGs. Another thing that I want to note about the combat of the game is that it's really slick. The presentation, the animations with the combat are good. There is a ton of different classes, a ton of different animations. I really like what the team did, especially with the 3DS hardware. You know, you see a lot of people complaining that it might not be strong enough, but it's really not about that. It's about art, it's about scenery, it's about the game, it's about the gameplay. And I think the guys over at Intelligent Systems, they've done a fantastic job at creating a world that, even though it doesn't look the best, it still is very believable. It's still very fun to hop in there, and you'll be interested in the characters. All of the characters have their own personality, and it's so fun because as you battle, even of the opposite sex, you can still build affinity, but you just can't get married, of course. But you can still go through the letter system from C, B to A, and of course you earn more stat boosts. But it's cool to see the dialogue between the two characters. I mean, it's just, you just gain insight on how they act and things like that. So it's just awesome, and it makes you fight harder to where they don't die. I mean, it doesn't matter what modes you're playing on, whether you're playing on casual mode where they come back, or you're playing on hardcore mode. Like, you don't want them to die in battle. I mean, I've reset it. Even though I play on a hard casual, I've reset it just because I don't want to have them die on that. So I reset the battle. So I'm really liking what they did with the combat, the presentation, and I want to make a quick note on the DLC in the game, and that's something you can expect. I think Nintendo is one of the few companies that actually get DLC right, because with Fire Emblem Awakening, you get free DLC, which they've already kind of like pre-included in the game. So at any point, you can pop up your wireless menu and you can instantly download new teams. So that's from all of the past games, Sacred Stones, Shadow Dragon, all of them, even those that weren't released here in America. And you could fight the phantoms of the legendary heroes. So Prince Marth, King Marth, you know, Ike, Roy, all the people that you know from the other Fire Emblem games. You can fight them, and if you beat them, or you can buy them, but if you beat them, you can get them on and recruit them and have them on your team. And a lot of them, some of them are really good, so that's really cool. So you have free DLC. Now you have the paid DLC, and the paid DLC is more for like the hardcore Fire Emblem fans, you know, the people that really knew the previous games, because it's filled with like fanfare. It's just filled with that. I mean, you have the classic music from the games, you have the classic characters, they talk more. I mean, it's really cool, and it's worth your time, and it's not too bad as far as price goes. I really love what they did with the DLC. Even though I'm not a huge fan of that, I did get the DLC, most of it, and it's really good. They pair you up with other units. Sometimes you have to battle against them, and sometimes you have to go in and battle against all of the old. I think one of them, I think it's Smash Brethren 3, you have to actually battle against all of the teams, or a lot of the teams from the past game. So It's really amazing. And another cool thing about the DLC is that they give you new classes. And the new classes are awesome. There's already tons of classes to pick from, but the new classes they give you, like the Dreadfighter, which is an awesome class. He can have magic, axes, and swords. So he's really cool. He's surrounded in this aura. He teleports. It's really cool. He's like a ninja basically. I love the Dread class. But going back to the class system, this is what makes Fire Emblem Awakening like addicting. It's not just one of those games like where you play through the single story and then like there's like a new game plus. Like Fire Emblem Awakening, it has new game plus. It has all that good stuff, you know. But it adds even more. Like you play in your game because you want to grind for renown points, because the more renown points you have, the more bonus items you unlock. Once you finish grinding for renown points, and once you keep on doing that, there's so much other stuff to do within the class, because the game, you never are stopped as far as your character level. In any class, a character can go up to level 20, but as soon as that character's level 20, if they're a basic class, you can use a master seal to promote them to an advanced class, and then they'll reset at level 1, then you can build them back up to level 20. And once you're at a master class, an advanced class, you can use a second seal and revert them to a different advanced class to learn new skills. So each class learns different skills. So basically the best players in Fire Emblem Awakening, you know, are going to have went through multiple classes and just got all the best skills, and then you can equip your loadout as far as what you want and just build the ultimate warrior with all of these cool skills. It just begs for replay value. It just really begs it, and it's the only portable game outside of Pokemon that I've ever put 100 hours into. I'm not huge on portable games. I don't play a ton of them as far as RPG wise. And outside of Pokemon, I've never put 100 hours into any other portable game, but Fire Emblem Awakening has me hooked, especially with the class system. You're never really going to stop playing. You're always going to want to get this, you know, skill for this player, and there's tons of characters, you know, so you're going to want to get a good team, especially when you do Street Pass, and if you team up with somebody else with local multiplayer. And just to touch on the story and the sound of this game, they're both amazing. The story, I don't want to give up too much details, nor do I want to talk about it, because I want people to be able to figure out the story and learn and have no spoilers, but I'll say this, it's very good. There's twists and turns here and there. You're going to be entertained. It's long, and you're going to have plenty of fun deciphering the story, beating it, then playing it again, and seeing what else you can do as far as different outcomes and things like that. As far as the sound and music go, excellent. The sword sounds are great. The animations as far as when people groan or when they get hit, the swords, the axes, the tombs, the magic, everything just feels in place, and the music just wraps everything together. It really gels. When there's something funny going on, there'll be like a funny type of music playing. When there's something serious going on, there'll be like a serious type of music playing. So you can get the feel of what type of conversation it's going to head into, a more of a direct, serious approach, or if it's more of a playful approach. They really set you up with the music, and some of the best music you will find as far as battle musics, and the ending theme is fantastic. I'm definitely going to have some music playing during this video, so you're going to be able to hear some of that excellent music already. I didn't want to touch on story and sound too much because those things are not as important as gameplay, but Fire Emblem Awakening does both of those very well. And it just goes to show what marketing and a good game can actually do, because I literally had no confidence in Fire Emblem Awakening even being any factor here in America. They release a Fire Emblem 3DS, and the scores start coming out, and it starts getting amazing review scores, and all of a sudden, before you know it, Fire Emblem Awakening is pretty much already past the last game, Shadow Dragon on the DS, has already passed the lifetime sales in the US of the game, which I think it sold 250,000. It might have been, yeah, lifetime. And it's already sold, it's already went past it. So that's what's called marketing and creating a better game. Don't just automatically assume the game isn't going to do well because the past games doesn't do well. Make the game better, market it, put DLC, put stuff in there to where fans know, like, when you pick up this game, you are getting something complete. So that's what made me get the game, and I'm so happy I did. I'm so happy I just didn't look at the past games and said, oh, I'm not trying it. So if you're one of those guys that have played past Fire Emblems, or you're not really into strategy RPGs, because I'm not into strategy RPGs. I like more regular RPGs, action games, things like that. but Fire Emblem Awakening, you might still like it. Definitely check out the demo if you can. And like I said, this isn't a formal review, but if I was to give it a review score, I mean, I've played the game, I know everything about it basically. If I was to give it a review score, definitely a 9.5 out of 10. It deserves your attention, and it shows that Nintendo knows what they're doing when it comes to RPGs, when it comes to the gameplay, because even though the game doesn't look as great as other portable titles out there, it's still just addicting. And I haven't turned on my consoles in, since I got Fire Emblem Awakening. I think I've played a little bit of my Wii U here, and a little bit of my Xbox 360 there, but I really have just been playing Fire Emblem Awakening. It's been more than enough. So I can't recommend the game more. Make sure you check out, I will at some point have the article portion of this up. If it's not already up, it'll be in the description below. And remember to like us on Facebook, because when you like us on Facebook, you get exclusive content that we send straight to your phone or to your tablet or wherever you're looking at Facebook. Make sure to check out the Playeressence.com where you can get all your news, reviews, trailers, and all that good stuff. And remember, we do have a new partnership with a Critical Hit Productions. So check them out when you get a chance. They are amazing. Braden Cole, man, he knows what he's doing, so go out there and support them as well. Once again, I'm Furious Francis, and we will see you next time. Peace.